This is a replacement for the flow divider seals on a K9-3 Dingo. The flow divider started leaking hydraulic oil when the engine was running. I think the oil's been pouring up out of here. And there's some seals that just need to be replaced. You can see the circlip at the top we're going to take off. And there's one at the other end. If we go up underneath, hopefully the camera can view it. There's a hole there. You can see at least a hole in the camera. There's another circlip up in there, exactly the same one as the top. So both of them need to be taken off. And then what we're going to do is push it downwards, replace the seal on the bottom one, and then push it back up again. So I've got circlip removal tool. We're just going to go into the two holes. It's hard to do with the camera. I'm going to expand it out and pull it up. That one. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the bottom one. And then I'm going to pull out the shaft and put the seals on the top and then the seals on the bottom. Okay, so I've taken the circlip up on the top and I've taken the one off on the underneath. I've got gloves on so I don't get hydraulic oil and everything all over me. And I'm just going to pull, I just pulled that straight out. Okay, so you can see the circlip hole, the rubber that's pushed, you see the rubbers come up around there. Don't need that one really. So that's all come up, it's stretched, it's completely broken there. That explains obviously why all the hydraulic oil has been pouring out. Okay, so we're going to replace these with what I've bought from Compact Dingo Services. Okay, there's let's see, okay. So there's just new seals in there. Open these up safely, pop them somewhere and get started in taking these ones off and putting the other ones on. Okay, so you can see that there's one O-ring that's fat and one skinny, and we've got the one that's broken off on that, so I'm just going to use a screwdriver and just pull that up since we don't really care about them. And we've got our new O-ring seals here. There's two different types, so we're just going to make sure that the O-ring is, it looks like, on the outside and the square one towards the inner one. Now we're only going to do this one here. We're going to take that off, but we're not going to put any on it. We want to do this one first, set it up, because that's going to go inside it. And then we're going to stick it all the way through, so this end sticks out the bottom, and then we're going to put the other O-rings underneath the Dingo. If we put these on first, then when we push it through, there's a risk, if we're not very careful and oil and lube it up, there's a risk we might snip off the edge, because we've got these flow holes here that are very, very sharp on the inside of a Dingo, on the flow divider. And so if we put these ones on first and then push it through, as it's going past these holes here, there's a risk we chip off or cut off just little bits of it. We may not break it or anything, but if it's no longer a perfect round seal, then we're going to get oil leaking out down the bottom. So that's why we just do the top. We take these off so it's nice and easy, and then we're going to push it all the way through the hole in the Dingo and do it up underneath above the engine. It's probably going to be a bit tricky, but it's better than having a leaking Dingo. Okay, so just the O-ring was much tougher than the one I got off. It was very flexible. Okay, I've got that, and then the little extra seal, which I think is really just a buffer. I'm not quite sure what the reason is, because it's got the circlip-like break there. So both of them have it, so it's designed for it. So I assume it's just to keep that one in place. So it's just a spacer, you might say. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to take this over to the Dingo. Got my hole there. If you can see up in there, you see where the actual flow divider goes. It should be a hole on the other end as well. Anyway, yeah, so basically it's the flow divider is just cutting on and off the valves, the two valves that are in there, you might say. So we're just going to stick this through. It should be a simple, just pushing it in. It should nicely slide in. It's, you know, it's a 100% perfect fit. Make sure you do get it obviously right where it needs to go, since we're going to do that. Now the thing is, of course, that's fitted in neatly, but we want to push it further. We want to make sure it's really all the way down. Yeah, okay. I'll just give it a little bit of a very light tap with my hand. Okay, so that's all pushed through as far as it'll go. In theory, I should have it sticking out the end here. Again, it's very, very hard to see. I will grab a torch actually and see if you can see it then. Okay, let's see if the camera can see it now. So it's stuck all the way through. You can see the grooves. There's the circlip groove and the groove for the seals. So it's just when pushing it down just makes it perfectly allow the seal holes to appear. So I'm going to, as best as I can, stick the two ones on. One's easy obviously because it's a separator and it's not a complete circle. So we can open that up and put that on. And then we're going to very carefully put the seal on without breaking it. And we should be right then to push it back up again. And then we'll put the circlip on, and then that'll stop it coming up. And then we can put the circlip on the top to stop it coming back down, and we're good to go. I won't lie, that was a little bit fiddly, but she's all good now. So I've got the circlip on, the two seals in, and so now I'm just going to push it upwards. Magnetic lights are a lightsaver. I'm just going to point that out. If you've got a light with a magnet on the back, stick it where you need it, and God, that's one extra hand with every penny. Okay, so now that we've done that, we need to pull this up, get it nice and carefully, because we've got to get past that seal. Okay, we should feel it go in. Yeah, I don't think it's gone up yet. It's hard to tell, of course. No, not yet. It's still sticking out. I'm just going to use a bit more force than what one hand can do, just to pull that up and out. Yeah, it just needed a little bit more force. I just popped that basically under that, used the other handle and turned it so it sort of built up, and just gave it a bit more pressure just to get that through. Alright, so now the test. I'm just going to start the dingo up and cross my fingers that nothing leaks out of this end or the other end. I remember to mute the volume. Okay, first question is to remember to bring the key. Hang on. Apart from a large amount of smoke coming off the exhaust where all the hydraulic oil leaked onto, which we're going to get some degreaser and give that a good clean. She's all good. Ran for a while, drove around the place, no oil leak. We are good. Okay, that's how to replace the flow divider seals on a Dingo K9-3, and I think the K9-4 is the same. Hope it helped.